Have you ever wondered if your posture is setting you up for that dreaded neck hump? There's a quick test that could reveal the answer right now. In this video, I'm going to show you how to perform that test, how to assess your results, and give you 3 proven strategies to fix it. Are you ready to take control of your posture? Then let's dive in. As we get older, many people notice that their upper back starts to round like this, a condition that's often called neck hump or Dowager's hump. Not only can this posture look unappealing, but it can also cause neck pain and lead to frustrating symptoms like numbness or tingling, sometimes weakness in the arms and hands. I'm going to explain exactly how that happens in just a minute. Here's the surprising fact. Most people don't realize that there's one key muscle, the pectoralis muscle, that plays a bigger role in neck hump posture than almost anything else. But there's good news. With the simple test I'm going to teach you, you'll be able to determine if your pec muscle is causing the problem. And if it is, I've got 3 easy exercises that you can do at home to restore strength, improve flexibility, and most importantly, to reverse that neck hump. I'm Dr. Brant Pedersen, and over the past 20 years, I've helped thousands of patients with neck and upper back pain, including many struggling with moderate to advanced neck hump posture. At my clinic in Northern California, testing the pectoralis muscle is a crucial part of my assessment, helping me create tailored recovery plans so patients can feel better fast. Before we jump into the test, let's take a quick look at the pectoralis muscle and how it plays a key role in neck hump posture. You actually have 3 pectoralis muscles in your chest. The first is the pectoralis major, which has 2 important parts. I'm actually going to break it into 2 different muscles. The clavicular division here, starting from your clavicle, and the sternal division, which originates from your sternum. Remember these 2 because they'll be important in just a minute. Both parts of the pec major attach to the front of your shoulder right here. And when they contract, they pull your arm down and across your body, or they roll your shoulders forward, leading to that slumped, rounded posture we want to avoid. But there's another key muscle that's often flying under the radar. It's your pectoralis minor. This smaller but mighty muscle runs from your 3rd, 4th, and 5th rib here, and then attaches to this small bony part at the front of your shoulder blade. I know this part's in the front, even though it's on your shoulder blade back there, called your coracoid process. And when the pectoralis minor gets tight, it pulls your shoulder blades forward, adding to that rounded posture. But even more importantly, it can compress something called your brachial plexus. That's the bundle of nerves that's responsible for sensation and muscle function in your hands and your arms. That brachial plexus runs right underneath your pectoralis minor. It can create something called pec minor syndrome. If these nerves are squeezed, it can lead to pain, weakness, and numbness in your upper extremities. So keeping both your pectoralis major and minor muscles flexible and strong is essential, not just for good posture, but to ensure your nerves are free to function properly. Now it's time to see if your pectoralis muscles are tight and whether they could be contributing to a rounded upper back or Dowager's hump. Here's how to do the wall angel test. First, you're going to stand with your heels about 6 inches away from the wall. You're going to then take your buttocks, your shoulder blades, your elbows, wrists, and head and put those all against the wall in a goalpost type position. For extra credit, you're going to take and flatten your lower back, keeping everything in that same spot. This is how the body should be able to have natural flexibility. What we'll notice is that people will either have their butt will have to come off the wall to keep everything there, or they'll have to round a whole bunch in their low back, or they won't be able to get their neck back against the wall. Sometimes they can't get their arms, their elbows to touch the wall. Maybe they can get their elbows to touch, but they can't get their wrists to go back against the wall. When you're in this position, where do you feel tension? Feel it in between your shoulders and your lower back and your neck, in the front of your chest. It'd be great if you wrote something in the comments to let people know where you're feeling it. You might see that there's some patterns that arise. Each of these compensations tells us something about your posture, and all point to possible tightness in your pectoralis muscles. The good news, this is the first and easiest area to address on your journey to better posture. Tight pecs don't have to hold you back, and I'm about to show you how you can fix that. Before we dive into the exercises, I want to remind you that everybody's body is different. Even though these exercises are pretty gentle, we're all at a different stage in life and fitness. So make sure you check in with your doc before you start any new routine. And as always, listen to your body. None of these exercises should cause pain. If they do, that's your body telling you it needs to start with something more basic before building up to these. Now, I know when I work out, I love to have a handout that I can refer to. So I put together a free exercise guide just for you. It includes everything we're covering, the wall angel test, detailed instructions for each of the exercises that I'm about to show you, and even pictures to help you follow along. You can grab the free PDF by clicking in the link down in the description, or if it's easier, you can scan the QR code on your screen right now. All right, let's get to the exercises. The first exercise is called the upper back cat. For this exercise, you'll need a couch or a chair. If getting on and off the floor is difficult, no problem. You can do a similar version of this in your bed, like a child's pose stretch. Here's a picture of what a child's pose stretch would look like. I've also included it in the PDF instructions. For the upper back cat exercise, you're gonna need a chair or a couch. What you're gonna do is take your forearms, gently put them on the edge of that, and then you're gonna walk your knees back out so that your thighs are vertical. Your knees are underneath your hips. What you're gonna do from there is slightly round your upper back and then gently come down into a stretch. Feeling the stretch across your pectoralis muscles. You might also notice tension in your shoulder joints. If you do, just go gentle with yourself. Don't push it too far. I like to hold this stretch for about 10 seconds. And you can come back in to a little bit of an arch. And then again, dropping back down into it, feeling a stretch across your pec muscles, allowing your upper back to fall down towards the floor, to take that neck hump posture and slowly let gravity work it into being more straight instead of rounded. Come back up into a rounded posture again. So be patient with yourself. You know, we are what we repeatedly do, and if you don't do things above your head, very often this is going to feel awkward. The cool thing about the human body is that it adapts to stress. And so if you practice this over the next few days and weeks, you're going to notice that this becomes less and less painful, and you're going to get more flexibility and mobility in your arms and shoulders. That's the upper back cat. I like to do 6 sets. I think that was 5, but 6 sets of those 10-second holds. This exercise is not only a gentle stretch for your pectoralis muscles, but it also targets that rounded upper back posture we're working to improve. Plus, it boosts your shoulder range of motion, which is especially helpful if you haven't been doing much overhead activity. You might feel some mild shoulder discomfort during this stretch. That's okay. Be gentle with yourself. Go slow, work within your limits, and remember that progress takes time. Each day is an opportunity to improve, even if just a little. So stick with it, and you'll soon start noticing changes in your pec flexibility, your posture, and your shoulder mobility. Next up is the passive pec stretch on a foam roller. I like using a 36-inch foam roller because it supports the whole back, including the head and neck. In addition to being a stretch for the pectoralis muscles, this exercise has the added bonus of being a core stabilization exercise. If you don't have a foam roller, don't worry. You can still do this exercise on the floor or hanging one arm off of the side of your bed at a time. If you do want to grab a foam roller, I'll put a link down below to the ones that I get. You can usually find a good one under $20. So the setup for this stretch is you're going to sit down on the foam roller and be careful. You're going to slowly take and extend back down over the foam roller such that your head can rest on the top of the foam roller. If you need to for your neck, you can take and put a small pillow in there or a towel if it feels like it's hard for your neck to be down there. And then I'll let you know that the wider that you put your feet, the less of a core exercise it's gonna be. The closer you put your feet together, the more of a challenge it will be. What you're gonna do is take your hands and bring them out to the side at about 90 degrees, palms facing up. And then you're just gonna take and let gravity do its work. This is a really passive, relaxed stretch. You want to make sure that your chin is tucked in, that you're not jutting your chin out like this. So keep your chin tucked in. This works more of the clavicular division of the pectoralis muscles. To get a little bit more of the sternal division, you'll take your arms up to about 130 degrees, and then you're just going to let them relax down. Based on your flexibility, you may or may not feel something in your mid-back as you do this, so just be gentle with yourself. Give it time. I like to hang out here for about a minute, but maybe when you're first starting, you'll just do it for 15 seconds or so. Again, we're getting core activation, just maintaining our balance on this foam roller. Our hands help to give us a little bit of stabilization. Before we go into this last exercise and a variation on that exercise, I just want to give a word of caution to anyone who has had a shoulder dislocation or shoulder instability. You might want to sit this one out and be a little rough going into external rotation for those people. Okay, now onto the exercise. This last exercise, the banded pectoralis stretch, is hands down my favorite. It's awesome because you can really dial it in to target exactly where you feel the tightness in your pec muscle, and I always walk away feeling an amazing stretch. For this one, you're gonna need some elastic band like TheraBand or a fitness band. Again, I'll put links down in the description below to the ones that I like if you need some. But if you don't have a band, no worries. I'll show you a doorway or a wall version that works well too. So let's start with the doorway or wall pec stretch. What we can do is bring our arm up against a wall, elbow out at 90 degrees. I'm gonna take and step forward a little bit with my foot closest to the wall, and then I'm gonna look away and feel the stretch right here. This is a really good one for pec major clavicular division. I'm holding that rotation, kind of pushing my shoulder forwards, feeling that stretch. I like to hold this one for about 30 seconds. This is, again, really good for pec major clavicular. Another thing that you can do that works more of pec major sternal division is I can put my arm up the wall so that my elbow is now higher than my shoulder. Put it a little bit behind me so I can get some traction. If you've got a doorway, you'll have that traction. I'm gonna bring my foot forward that's closest to the wall, and then again, looking away and leaning into that here, really feeling the stretch down into the pec major sternal division. Oh, telling you, all day long, we're doing stuff here, and this just feels so good to get these stretches. Now here's my favorite stretch, the banded pec stretch that really opens up the chest and helps to reverse that neck hump. This one is amazing. So you're gonna take the band, start with very little tension on it, palms facing down, hands about 3 feet apart. You're gonna put a little tension into it. From here, you're gonna slowly raise both arms up over your head, and if your shoulders allow, you're gonna bring them down behind your back in a full arc. If that sounds intimidating, I get it. When I first saw someone do this, I thought, I'm not a circus performer. There's no way that I can do that. But to my surprise, the band made it easier, and it just gave the right amount of assistance to guide me through that motion. How we do the stretch is you're gonna bring your hands back and up to about shoulder height, and then let your chest muscles relax as you let the band pull your hands together. Here's the fun part. You can adjust this up or down, find exactly where you feel the most stretch across your pecs. This stretch feels good because most of the day we're doing things that bring our chest forward and tighten our pecs. And this assisted stretch really opens, oh my God, that feels so good. Really opens things up. And honestly, it just feels great to hang out here. If you're new to this stretch, or if your shoulder mobility is limited, just start small. Try holding it for 10 or 15 seconds. And as you progress, you can increase your time and also the stretch in the band. Give more of a stretch to your pecs. I usually hold it for 60 seconds. Find what works for you and then build from there. In my 20 years of helping patients get out of pain and regain their strength and vitality, it's truly been humbling to witness just how much the human body can improve with just a little bit of consistent effort each day. My hope is that you will experience those same improvements with what you've learned today. Before I go, I want to leave you with one important reminder. Flexibility and strength are key. But if you're spending hours slouched at your computer, it can undo all that hard work. That's exactly why I created this video here, to help you quickly assess your workstation and make easy adjustments to protect your posture and prevent neck pain. I'm sure you're going to find it helpful. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and until next time, take care.